Selamat sejahtera to my beloved lecturer Pandiana Alwi. My name is Vinoshan, son of Nadesan, and my metric number is 19DDT21F1015. Now, I will be presenting and explaining in detail regarding my question 2 for problem-based task of switching essential. Let's have a look at the question 2. So as you can see, this is our question 2, where we have to configure the ether channel. So the below is the topology. In the in order to build this topology, we need to have the correct required resources with the correct models and also the correct ports, the correct cable in order to form the full topology and in order to develop the full topology. So let's have a look at the required resources that are needed in order to develop this topology. So as we can see, we need two switches with the model Cisco 2960 and also two PCs and console cables and also Ethernet cables to form this topology. So now let's create and develop this topology. So for the first one, I will pick two PCs and I will name them as PC A and another one more PC as PC B. Now let's take two switches with the model 2960. Let's just cross check. Yes, we need 2960 switches and two switches. So let's pick switches for 2960 and I will name this as switch 1 and another one more is switch 2. Okay, so half of the topology is already developed because we have already fulfilled the required resources that are needed to build this topology. Now, let's connect all these devices with the correct cable by using the correct cables and connecting them to the correct port. So from PCA to switch 1, we need to connect using copper straight through cable. So from PCA, I will be taking FE0 because in the question PCA and PCB there is no specific interface shown. So that means we can take any types of interface ports to be connected to switch 1 or switch 2. So in that case, I'm taking fast Ethernet 0 to connect to switch 1 for PCA. And in fast Ethernet 0, I'm taking fast Ethernet 06. And from switch 1, I am using fast Ethernet 01 to switch to with the same port, which is fast Ethernet 01. And then from switch 1 again, I will connect with fast Ethernet 02 to switch to fast Ethernet 02. And then from switch 2 to PCB, I will connect using fast Ethernet 0/18 and to PCB, I will connect fast Ethernet 0. So now this topology has already been built. So now let's look at the first part. For the first part, we have to configure the basic settings for each of the switch. So we have to assign the device name, we have to disable the DNS lookup, assign class as the privilege exact encrypted password, assign Cisco as the console password and enable login, assign Cisco as the VTY password and enable login, and encrypt the plain text password. So that is what we are going to do right now, which is to configure the basic settings. So first of all, we will do for switch 1. So in switch 1, we will go to um, before we go to the first part, we will have to fill in the IP address and the subnet mask for PCA and PCB. So let's fill up the IP address and subnet mask for PCA and also PCB. So the IP address for PCA is 192.168.20.3, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. And for PCB, the IP address is 192.168.20.4, and the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. So now we have already filled up the IP address for both the PCs. Now let's configure the basic settings for switch 1 and switch 2. So in switch 1, first we have to enable configure terminal, and then host name is S1, and then no IP domain lookup line device 04 history size 15 exact timeout and 30 login synchronous, and then the exit. So now we have already configured the working environment, and then next is to configure the basic settings and basic security. So enable password Cisco, and then enable a secret class service password encryption. And then next we have to do for the line console. So first of all, line console 0, and then password Cisco, login and exit. And then next we will do for the remote access security. So the first one is line BTY015, and then password Cisco, and login and exit. And next we will configure the banner. So banner MOE. And then we will copy So since we can't use copy run start, we will be using a different command, which is copy config. Oh, sorry. First we have to exit and then copy uh, copy run start. Okay, so done. So I've done for PC switch 1. Now we will be doing it for switch R2. So in switch 2, we will have to go to CLI and then we will have to enable as usual. We will have to enable and then the next we will have to configure the terminal. So configure terminal. And then we have to assign the host name. So I'll be assigning the host name to switch 2 as 2. And then we will be doing the configuring working environment, number, IP, domain, lookup, and then line BDY04, history, size 15, exact timeout, and 30, login, synchronous, and exit. So the next we will be doing is configure the basic security. So we will be enabling the password and also privilege enable password. So we will enable password Cisco and enable secret class and service password encryption. So now we will be doing the line console. So line console 0 password Cisco and login and exit. And then the next we'll be doing remote access security. So line device 015 and password Cisco and login and exit. And then we will be configuring the banner. So banner MOTT authorize user only and access. Okay, so exit, copy, run, start. So done. So now I've done the configuring the basic settings for both the switch, which is switch 1 and switch 2. So now we will be doing configuring the so the next we will be doing configure PC host. So for the configure PC host, we will be now creating the VLAN for both the switches. So we will go to switch 1 and then we will be creating the VLANs for each switch. So we'll be creating the VLANs for switch 1 and also switch 2. So configure terminal and then VLAN 10 management. So we'll be following this VLAN table in order to fulfill the configurations for switch 1. So we have already done the management and then we will do VLAN 20 and then name clients and then VLAN 999 name parking lot parking lot VLAN 1000 and name native and then exit. So that is for VLAN, that's for switch 1. And now we will do it for switch 2. In switch 2, we will configure the terminal. So switch 2, we will start off with VLAN 10 also. Name management. and VLAN 20 and name clients VLAN 999 name parking lot and VLAN 1000 uh, name 8 and exit. So we have already done for both the VLANs. Now our next that is to create the VLANs for on both switches. Now we are going to configure the management interface on each switch using the IP address information addressing table in the addressing table. Okay, so now we are going to look at the addressing table in order to do the next solution. Okay, so first we will go to switch 1. We will do it in switch 1 first. So in switch 1, interface VLAN and, and the IP address is for VLAN 10, the IP address is 192.168, 168 10.11, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, so then no shutdown and exit. So we have done for switch 1 for the interface of VLAN 10, and now we will be doing it for switch 2 as well for interface VLAN 10. So interface VLAN 10 IP address. So let's look at the IP address of switch 2 for VLAN 10 is 192.168.10.12, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, and then next is no shutdown and exit. So now we have already done for the second one, which is configuring the management interface on each switch using the IP address information in the addressing table. Now the third one is we are going to assign all the unused spots on both the switches to the parking lot VLAN, and also we are going to configure them for static access mode, and administratively we are going to deactivate them. So we will be starting off with switch 1 first. So in switch 1, interface, we are going to use interface range of F03 to 4. And then F07 F07 to 24, and also G0/1 to 2. Okay, so switch port mode access, and then switch port access VLAN 999 and shut down. Okay, so now we have done for switch 1. Now we're going to do for switch 2. Switch 2 interface F 03 to 17, and then F019 to 24, and also sorry, interface range F 03 to 17, and then F019 to 24, and F sorry, G0/1 to. So let us cross check F03 to 17, F019 to 24, and also G0/1 to 2. Okay, so now switch port access, and then switch port access VLAN 999, and then uh, okay. So we have already done for switch 1 and switch 2. Okay. So now the next is to we are going to okay. So next is we will be doing for switch 1 and switch 2, we will be assigning the VLANs to the correct switches. So in order to do that, first of all, we need to exit. Oops, no need to exit. Interface 0/6 F0/6. Oops, F0/6 switch on mode access, and also switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, so we have done for switch 1. Now we will be doing it for switch 2. So interface interface F0 slash 18 F0 slash 18 switch port access, and also switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, we have done for switch 2 as well. So now we will go to part 3. Now we'll be going to part 3. So in part 3, we will have to manually configure the interface of F0 slash 1 and also F0 slash 2 as 802.1 Q trunks. So we need to change the switch port mode on switch 1 and switch 2 to force to trunking. So in order to do that, we will first have to go to switch 1 and then exit, and then interface range range F0 slash 1 to 2 is range F0 slash 1 to 2, and then switch port mode switch port from. So we have already done for switch 1. Now we will be doing it for switch 2 as well. So for exit. So for switch 2, we'll be doing interface range F0 slash 1 to 2. And then switch for okay. Okay, so we have done for switch 1 and switch 2. So next is we need to set the native VLAN to 1000 on both switches. So we may see the error messages temporarily while two interfaces are configured for different native VLANs. Okay, so first of all, um, we will do for switch 1. Okay. So for switch 1, we will put switch port trunk native native VLAN 999. Oops, sorry, 1000. 1000. Oh, sorry, switch port trunk native VLAN 1000. So we will see these error messages. Okay, so now we will have to do it for switch 2. Switch for trunk native VLAN 1000. Okay, so we have done for we have done setting the native VLAN to 1000 on both the switches. Now we will be doing the third one. Um, so on switch 1, we have to switch port trunk out, which is VLAN 10, 20, and 1000. Okay. And for switch port trunk allow VLAN 10, 20, and 1000. Okay. So we have done that. Now the next one is to implement and verify an ether channel between the switches. So first we need to create an LACP based on the ether channel using F0/1 and also 0/2 using the group number 1 with both switches actively negotiating the ether channel protocol. So then we have to use the interface range command in order to reduce the number of the commands required. Okay, so first of all, we will go to switch 1 and then we will exit and then we will interface range of F0/1 to 2 and then channel 1 port exit. Okay, so the same thing we need to do for switch 2 as well. So we need to exit. So int range F0/1 to 2 and then channel group 1 more active active exchange. Okay, so as per the question, we have already used the show we have already used the command interface range. As we can see here, we have already used the command interface range for switch 2 and also for switch 1 right here. So now the next one is to after the ether channel is configured, a virtual port channel interface is automatically created. Okay. Okay, so now we need to verify the ether channel between the switches on switch 1 and also switch 2. So how to verify is we have to exit first and then show ether channel summary. So as we can see here, this is the ether channel summary for um, uh, switch 1. So as we can see here, there's an LACP here. Okay, so we have done this correctly. And we are we will now do it for switch 2 as well, where we have to exit and then we will put the command show ether channel summary. And this is the ether channel summary for um, switch 2. So as we can see here, there is LACP here also. Okay. So by that, we are done of doing the topology and also doing all the configurations based on the questions for question 2. So next is so what are the challenges in order to complete this PBT? So the name three. So there were three types of challenges in order for me to complete this PBT. One was time, and second is load of assessments, and also third is practice. So time, in terms of time, it was quite a very, very big challenge for me because I feel that time was running so fast and I felt very difficult to catch the time to do this PBT. even though we are given 1 week time to do PBT, but I still felt difficult to catch the time to do sit and do PBT. And secondly is loads of assessments. It was also a really tough challenge this time, because there were too many assessments for me to do, and I was not sure which one to do first. And lastly was practice, because it took a lot of practice, a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and also maximum effort for me to do the best in this PBT. Next is, how do you overcome those challenges? So I overcome those challenges with three steps, which is, one is I prepared a schedule for myself. So what I did is I, however, did a schedule on the assessments that I need to do each day. So to do that particular schedule, I also analyze the duration of the time which is given for every single assessment to be done. So based on that only, I did the schedule for me to sit and do all my assessments and finish on time. And secondly is to motivate myself. I have always motivated myself every single day that I can do all the assessments. I am positive, I stay positive, I can do all the assessments and I can submit on time. That motivation always helps me in order to finish all my assessments. And also third is practice as well. Um, I took so much efforts and also practices to provide the best of the best answers for every single assessments. Which configuration was is difficult to be implemented? For me, in personal, the configuration that was difficult to be implemented was question 2, part 2, which is to create VLANs for on both switch. Why? Because it was difficult to remember the commands, and it also took some time to do the configuration to create the VLANs on both switch. Did you manage to verify all the connections in just first attempt? No, because I took a lot of attempts in order to verify all the connections successfully. If your answer is no, then how many attempts did you manage to verify all the connections? I took 12 attempts or more. I took at least 12 attempts to verify all the connections in order for every single connections to be successful. So that's all from me, and thank you so much to Puan Diana for the opportunity given for me to present my PBT. And also, thank you, Puan Diana, for giving us a wonderful lesson, and also being the best lecturer for me for this sem. Thank you.